Because of them, 5 million people do not have polio. Because of them, families will not have to beg for a meal tonight. Because of them, thousands of high schoolers will never be known as dropouts. They are the 1.2 million members of Rotary, everyday people working together to push hope forward. Rotary, humanity in motion.
I'm always delighted to be invited by a lawyer to be anywhere. You know, in Rotary, the organization was founded by a lawyer, and I was stunned when somebody in my family reminded me that this year I commemorate 45 years as a very shy, quiet, humble, innocent, sweet, lovable trial lawyer up in San Francisco. And I have had a lot of fun over the years doing courtroom work. Litigation is something I don't get a chance to do it so much anymore, but over the years I've had a lot of fun, and I kind of enjoy cross-examination. What is your date of birth, madam? July 15th. What year? Every year. How old is your son, the one living with you? Well, he's 38 or 35. I can't remember which. Well, how long has he lived with you, madam? Oh, 45 years. What was the first thing your husband said to you when he woke up that morning? He said, "Where am I, Kathy?" And why does that suit you? My name is Susan. Now, doctor, isn't it true that when a person dies in his sleep, he doesn't know about it until the next morning? I spent all night dreaming up that question because I like to sound very intelligent. I like to cross-examine doctors. I sort of feel that I'm getting even for a lot of prostate exams over the years. Do you recall the time that you examined the body? Yes, counsel. The autopsy started around 8:30 p.m. And Mr. Dennington was dead at the time. No, counsel. He was sitting on the table wondering what I was doing to him. Well, now, doctor, before you performed the autopsy, did you check for a pulse? No. Did you check for blood pressure? No. Did you check for breathing? No. Well, then it's possible that the patient was alive when you began the autopsy. No. Well, how can you be so sure, doctor? Because his brain was sitting on my desk in a jar. But doctor, couldn't the patient have been alive anyway? Yes, Mr. King, it's possible that he could have been alive and practicing law somewhere. I'm delighted you're here today. I know it's a beautiful summer, August Saturday, and I appreciate very much your attendance. It's hard to give a speech if nobody's there. But I have contemplated the concept of membership in organizations like Rotary for the last 2 decades in my Rotary work. Because as I travel the globe, more than at any other time in human history, Rotary is essential for the future of mankind. I don't say that lightly. I want to read to you, and I know you've heard me before, read just a couple of comments from one of the world's most distinguished Rotarians who spent a lifetime in Africa working with people who were very poor. He was a physician. He won the Nobel Peace Prize. His name was Albert Schweitzer. When he wrote this article in the May 1960 issue of the Rotarian magazine, Dr. Schweitzer had been a Rotarian, having joined in Europe for several years. And he wrote an article which he called The Truly Human Man. And I'm going to read to you just a couple of lines from his opening paragraph. Having occupied myself since my youth with the great problems of civilization and its survival amidst the events which form the great adventure which we share in this world, I knew there would have to be created someday associations of people aside from political parties, aside from every other kind of distinction. Something solely to meet the ideal of the truly human man, who tries to judge as a truly human man, and who tries to act as a truly human man. And the first time I heard of Rotary, it was a great consolation. And I said to myself, now they are beginning to do what is necessary for the future. And I've lived through this great concern for the future of humanity with my friend Albert Einstein, whom I knew for many years. And I know how much he too was waiting for a great movement. And now this movement has come in Rotary, and we shall fight on while remaining profoundly human. When I was president of Rotary International, I was, as most RI presidents do, traveling the globe. Sherry and I, in the third year of the president, you serve a year as president nominee, you serve a year as president-elect, and then you serve as president. Each year we traveled to many, many places, but in the presidential year we went to 79 countries. And I was in Rio de Janeiro on a beautiful September day. That night I was to be knighted by the government of Brazil. I didn't know there were so many knighthoods around the globe, but anyway, the United States ambassadors are going to be there, the president of Brazil, and 1,000 Rotarians from throughout the country. And it was a wonderful evening, and we were up in our suite that morning, and my wife screamed and said, "You got to come and see this on the TV." And then there, before our eyes, unfolded the tragic events which we have come to know as 9/11. And when I got back to Rotary World Headquarters in Evanston, Illinois, there were 1,000 messages, and they all said pretty much the same thing. They came from heads of state all over the globe and many other places. And they said, "Rick, we're so sorry this happened. And secondly, what is Rotary going to do about it?" Well, it never entered my mind in my wildest imagination that one of the jobs of being a president of Rotary International would be to be concerned about Rotary's role in fighting global terrorism. But the fact is, a lot of Rotarians wanted to know what Rotary was going to do about it. And so we convened Rotarian leaders from throughout the Middle East to talk about trying to expand the concept of Rotary's ideal of goodwill. I believe that Schweitzer was right when he talked about Rotary's necessity for being essential for the history of the human race. I remember meeting an old general in Cairo who had served in World War II. We had dinner one night, and he said, "You know, we need the idea of Rotary's social capital, because where you have problems in your communities, you get together in a Rotary club or other civic clubs, and you try to make it better. You talk to one another. You come out and you interact with other human beings. A little inconvenience, a little bit of time and money, but you do that and you try to make it better. In my part of the world, Rick, we kill each other. That's how we try to make it better. And until we learn the concept of Rotary, people of every race, every color, every creed, every language, every culture, every politics, every religion, every ethnic background, royalty, heads of state, heads of international, multinational corporations, educators, religious leaders, political leaders, social leaders, business leaders, cultural leaders, entertainment leaders, athletic leaders, every aspect of human endeavor. Protestants and Catholics meeting in the same Rotary clubs on the border of Ireland and Ulster, and Hindus and Muslims meeting in the same Rotary clubs on the border of Pakistan and India, and Arabs and Jews meeting in the same clubs throughout the Middle East, all coming together, executives, managers, professionals, vocationals, wearing the Rotary wheel. And the concept is to make the condition of the human race better. And in the 21st century, Rotary is essential for the future. It was just 3 weeks after 9/11 that the Chicago Tribune came out with a tremendous article, The Rotary Factor. And in it, and I was stunned to read this, and this is when I began to take seriously the mission of Rotary's role. A club known for backslapping lunches emerges as the key ally in the war on global terror. And it talked about Rotary's role as people of influence. After all, we invite the best, the most prominent, the most competent, the most ethical, committed individuals in each vocation or profession to join our ranks in Rotary.
Does peace really have a chance within our lifetime?